Hello Aquarius, this is your February 15th eclipse interpretation. Did you know we have a solar eclipse coming up on February 15th? And it happens to be in your sign. What does that mean? Aquarius, out of all the signs, your sign is the ruler of astrology. So let's honor that for just a moment. And I'd like you to consider what would happen if all the center of attention were on you for a change, and what you want, and what you want to do, your goals, your action plan, your list. What would happen if suddenly you, who's always kind of sidestepping the limelight, who's always kind of has this unselfish view of the world, and that's what I want to focus on here, is the unselfishness, all right, of Aquarius. Now, every eclipse activates the polarity between two signs. Okay, so this eclipse activates the polarity between Aquarius. I'm going to color Aquarius on the zodiac in yellow because it is an air sign. Okay, Aquarius is a logical thinking sign. It's also the friendship ambassador, pioneer in consciousness. Aquarius wants to help the world, and Aquarius wants change. Aquarius aligns itself with big causes that help the brotherhood of man. And in that sense, Aquarius is very much about the group, about the needs of the group. I mean, I don't know if you watch Star Trek, but like there were this species of people called the Borg. They were these like robot people who had joined together in this collective mentality. Well, that's not exactly Aquarian, because Aquarius honors the individual as well as the group. So Aquarius says inside the group, it takes a million different parts to make a whole. Everybody has value. Everybody is equal in that respect. No hierarchies exist. And if you were to imagine the solar system and you were just to look at the sun, and maybe if you were the sun rules Leo, by the way. Leo is on the opposite side of this polarity over here. If you were to just think of yourself as the sun for a second, looking out at the planets, and you say, hey, they're all revolving around me. Wow, everything revolves around me. Boy, I must be important. That's kind of how Leo, I mean, Leo, wise Leo, knows the path of Aquarius. These are one and the same. They're on the same polarity. They're just opposite ends of the spectrum. So wise Leo, the wise son knows. The wise son knows that, well, he wouldn't really be worth much if he didn't have the admiring planets revolving around him, and that everything functions as a whole. Everything functions together as a whole, even though we've got Jupiter, Mars, Venus, Mercury, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. We have all these different planets, and each one is so completely different. You'd think, how could they ever get along? Except when you start to learn about astrology, you begin to understand how each and every one of these planets is absolutely necessary to make up the whole. And that without each and every planet, the system would collapse. I'm coloring these planets blue because Aquarius is often a cool and emotionally detached sign. Okay, it's about logic and science. And Aquarius says, hey, if we have to take money from this part of the population so that this part of the population doesn't die, well, that makes perfect sense. Okay, so yeah, maybe this part of the population isn't going to have water 3 days a week, but they're going to be fine. They're going to survive, and they're going to be okay, because this other part of the population, well, they're going to die if we don't take water from them and give it to the rest. Okay, so Aquarius looks at what benefits the group the most. Okay, so an Aquarius is probably not going to be too concerned about making money and getting rich, but they will be concerned about what they can do to help the collective. All right, now Aquarius, this eclipse is happening in your first house of starting new things. First house, starting new things. First house of your selfish needs, okay? Selfish in the best sense of the term, all right? When we're in a relationship, if it's all about the other person, well, we're sacrificing ourselves, and eventually, this is the 7th house over here versus the first house over here. 7th house is the house of relationship. This is where we give up our needs in order to be in a helpful partnership with someone. The first house is where we honor our needs. This is about us. Okay? So Aquarius, you who's always focused on the group impersonally, rather than Leo, who's like, hey, look at me, I'm amazing, I'm shiny, I'm beautiful. Aquarius stands apart and says, well, let's look at the group. Let's look at the group as a whole. And when you fuse these two, right? When you fuse these two elements, what you get, these two sides of this polarity. And that's what happens during these eclipse cycles. We just had that lunar eclipse, and now we're having the solar eclipse. The lunar eclipse happened over here in Leo. Now the solar eclipse comes around, happens in the opposite sign, Aquarius. Okay, so what these eclipses do is they have a way of fusing these polarities, all right? So we talked about the opposites. The opposites of Aquarius, it's all about the group. It's all about the group. And then it's happening in your first house. So and it's fusing with the 7th house. So we're bringing balance here for you, Aquarius, with the way you see yourself as an individual, as a unique person who's all on your own. What are your needs, Aquarius? What are your wants? What's your objective, personally, for you? Out of all the time of the year, this month, birthday month, is when we focus on you, Aquarius. And now the solar system is coming to give an extra boost to you and bringing you into the spotlight. I know you may not like that so much, Aquarius. You might not want to be in the spotlight. You might want to just do your own thing. And maybe that's what happens. You say, yeah, I don't want to be in the spotlight. I'm just going to go do my thing. And yeah, it's going to piss some people off. It's going to upset them. But hey, I'm going to do what I've got to do. All right? So Aquarius, if you've been overly concerned about other people's stuff, making sure everybody's happy, I'd like you to really let yourself feel what you need right now and go for it, even if it makes people angry. And it very well might. All right, now let's look at a few more dynamics that are going on here, okay? Because we have aided with, in this very positive alignment to the sun, moon, and Mercury, okay? Moon is how we feel. Mercury is how we think. Sun is who we are, how we shine in the world, all right? You are shining as an individual, waking up saying, whoa, I feel it, I think it, and I am, all right? That's what you're doing, and you might say, with this alignment with Uranus, you might say, I am unique. I am different. I am so very unique, unlike anybody else. And I know what I need to do. And I'm going to communicate that somehow. And I'm going to make a change. All right? Aquarius, this eclipse, February 15th, I want to really drive this home. This eclipse for you is about fundamental change. Fundamental change. Change toward coming into your own. Coming into who you are. Who are you, Aquarius? You ever think about that? You ever think about how you're different? How you don't exactly fit in? How sometimes you feel a little lonely because of your uniqueness? I'm going to encourage you to realize that this is a strength, Aquarius, and that with this eclipse, we all should be celebrating you and your uniqueness because of what you bring to the global atmosphere. You bring energy for change, the energy for great change. Change we've never seen before. Innovation, exciting, invigorating. Destabilization, explosions of the norm, exploding us out of the normal routines of thought, out of the normal ways of communicating things, and you just basically blow our minds out of the ballpark, Aquarius, with the unique expression of yourself. And what does that mean, Aquarius? That means you don't really have to do anything. You already are this thing. It's just going to happen. Oh, and the other nice thing about eclipses, Aquarius, is you don't really have to make them happen. Things will be taking place to bring about great change for you, Aquarius. Positive change. However, I want to point out there could be a little bit of friction with regard to this change. A little bit of friction with regard to this feeling like, why can't I feel deeply? You know, robot people don't feel, right? I'm not saying Aquarius is a robot person, but Aquarius is actually very sensitive. It's like this fine-tuned piece of electronic equipment that's like pew, 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 pew. Things are going back and forth quickly, even faster than thought. That's why Aquarius can almost seem psychic, because they get these, their thoughts happen faster than lightning, and it just comes out of nowhere. They get this idea that comes into them from the future, and it could just be a few minutes in the future, a few hours in the future, but they kind of know what's going to happen, and it's because they're just so brilliant, Aquarius, so smart. But with this fine-tuned piece of logical machinery, of electronic, quickness. Just imagine if you were to submerge your iPhone, your futuristic technology, into a watery pool. It would go haywire, and it would go it would go out of whack. So Aquarius has to kind of protect itself from the intense emotional watery world. Water in astrology is a symbol of emotions and feelings, and when Aquarius gets swept away by emotions or feelings, it can really take it down. Okay, Aquarius? So like when you feel deeply, it's like you just, whoa, it takes you down. And so Aquarius learns how to put its iPhone in a plastic baggie when it goes underwater. So it kind of keeps itself separated, keeps itself detached. Aquarius detaches itself from the emotional world. And so people can look at Aquarius and say, oh, they're like so cold, so logical. Like, oh, how come they can't feel that? But really, Aquarius is just kind of protecting itself. I mean, that's my theory, from losing touch with its logical sensibilities, which is so important to it staying rational with what it does. And I mean, it's just such a rationally functioning sign. But with Jupiter here, Jupiter's in this really intense sign of Scorpio, expanding all that emotion. Scorpio, if there's one sign that feels the emotional depths, it's Scorpio, okay? Scorpio feels the darkness, feels the sadness, feels the icky, scary types of feelings that, whoa, those feelings, most people can't even handle them. But Scorpio can handle them. Scorpio goes to those intense emotional experiences like a moth to the flame, or like a whale diving deep into the ocean, okay? Down into those dark depths where the sun can't reach. All right, that's not the only part of Scorpio, because Scorpio dives into the dark depths, but Scorpio also experiences the highest of highs, the brightest of bright white divine light. Scorpio knows that too. Okay, so Scorpio gets the full spectrum. And the key thing to remember with Scorpio is its intense emotions. Now, what does Scorpio do when the emotions are too intense for it? Scorpio's the one water sign that can freeze. Okay? Now, with this, and become like ice. Okay? Can become steely and cold and like almost unfeeling. But not like Aquarius is unfeeling. More like there's this intense nonverbal emotions trapped beneath the still waters of Scorpio. Okay, still waters run deep. And I'm worried here that with Jupiter squaring this eclipse, Aquarius, you could get overtaken by deep, intense emotions. Maybe it could even feel like unstable, sad emotions. It could have to do with overdoing things in the career space. Aquarius, are you going overboard in the career? Not enough all work and no play? Have you sacrificed yourself and your own personal needs because of your expanding career and the intense conviction and focus you have toward climbing the ladder of your career, Aquarius? Is that kind of stuff getting you down? Have you sacrificed yourself for your career? Well, it could be making you feel intense. It could be getting in the way of you honoring yourself. So I want to encourage you, Aquarius, to come back to yourself. Shine. Look at yourself. Look at your needs. These are your emotional needs, your unconscious, subconscious feelings. Feel what you're feeling, even though you might not necessarily like to. Shine with who you are and who you know you are. Your thoughts are raging right now, Aquarius, with who you are and what you need. Your thoughts are raging with the need for intense, dramatic change. What change are you thinking of, Aquarius? To honor yourself in the face of a career that you could be overdoing. Whoa. What are you doing? All right? You probably feel a little helpless in the face of wherever you're at. But I assure you, this is a favorable eclipse. The change that's coming is going to destabilize you out of being in this career rut, whatever that is, workaholism or whatever. I'm not sure what's going on in the career. But it's intensely conflicting with who you are. So, Aquarius, there's some things for you to think about this eclipse. Hope you enjoyed that. This is Sunstone Astrology. And, if you like this, or if you resonate with this, Aquarius, please comment below. I want to know what is happening for you in and around February 15th and what's going on in... What's going on? Okay, I forgot. It's Valentine's Day, Aquarius. And this all ties into self and other and relationships, okay? I forgot to mention the relationship aspect. When you know yourself, when you honor yourself, you're better at being in a relationship. And that does obviously beg the question, is your career also getting in the way of relationship stuff with your love partner? Okay? Man, it could be that the career, your reputation, your drive to the top, your wish to succeed in the world is getting in the way with who you are as an individual, what you want and need, and what you need in relationship. Okay, so I think, depending on what's going on this Valentine's Day, when Valentine's Day comes, we all look at our relationship a little bit critically. Maybe we go, wow, I'm so glad I'm in love. I'm so glad that this is the perfect person I'm with. But I think more often than not, we may be a little critical of our relationship state. Are we single? Are we alone? Are we loners? Are we with somebody who we shouldn't be with? Or have we been so focused on career that we haven't been able to give our partner the kind of love and attention that they need, or that we haven't been able to bring our entire self to our relationship? Boom, something is going to change, Aquarius. Something is coming. It's going to bring a destabilizing force to break you out of that career rut and bring you back into alignment with who you are as an individual